welcome to our Crazy Life Scotland. My name's Fiona, and in today's video I'm going to make some keychains, or key rings as I call them. I don't know if there's a difference between the two, but I've always called them key rings. The most popular name seems to be keychains. Anyway, I'm going to be making some out of acrylic blanks. Now, I got this kit. It was kindly gifted to me by Beebeecraft in a recent unboxing video as part of their YouTube programme. I will link that video for you if you've not seen it, and I will talk about this kit a bit more in a second. But one of the moulds that I got in that unboxing, which was this lovely teddy mould, it's a mobile phone holder. It was very popular and a lot of people said that they couldn't wait to see what it looked like done up, and I have made it. It is gorgeous, so stick with me to the end of this video and I'm going to show you what it looks like made up. Right, so back to this kit. I will have the link for this in the description of this video, along with the link to the Beebeecraft website and a 10% off discount code for you, and the link for the Beebeecraft YouTube programme as well if you're interested in taking part. So let's have another refresh of what we get. You get your keyring blanks. There are round ones and there are hexagon ones. Today I'm going to do 2 round and a hexagon. You also get your tassels to put on your keychain. You get your actual keyring hardware, and you get jump rings and the little tool for opening your jump rings as well. So it's a great all-round kit. You've got everything that you need in there. And what I'm going to do today, I'm going to do each one a little bit different, because I know that not everybody has got a Cricut, not everybody has got resin or likes to use resin. So I thought I would try to do 3 different ways, just to let you see what you can do with what you have. You don't need to go out and buy a whole load of fancy things to make key rings. So the first one that I'm going to do, I'm not going to use a Cricut or resin. I am going to put a sticker on the front, and I'm going to put glitter on the back, and I'm just going to use a spray sealer on it. So the sticker that I'm going to use also came from that unboxing video, and it is this. How gorgeous is this cat? And it's roughly the right sort of size. So that is what I am going to put on. But before I do the front, I want to do the back. Now, all of these blanks come with a protective film over it, so it's important to remember to take that off before you start doing anything. It's quite easy on the round ones because you can see that, you know, they are cloudy and they're not meant to be like that. The hexagon ones, it's not as easy to see the film, but it is there. So always remember to take that off first. And just take something sharp. I've got a little weeding tool here, but you can use a needle, you can use anything sharp. A little knife, that sort of thing, and it does come off nice and easily. Some blanks that you get, they are a nightmare, but these ones, it comes off nice and easy. So what I'm going to do on this, I'm going to do some black glitter on the back because it's a mainly black sticker. I did think about doing like the sort of blues and pinks and purples. I wonder if I should do that instead, and that might sort of bring the colour in a bit more. I might actually do that. What I am thinking now is this sticker is slightly bigger than the blank, so if we put it on like that, you can see that it is just a little bit bigger. So before I do the back, I'm actually going to put the sticker on, and I'll show you why in a minute. I am rubbish at cutting. If I tried to cut round this sticker, it would just be a jaggy mess. It would be horrible. So I'm going to put it on as it is. Just take my sharp tool again, take the backing off the sticker like this. Now I need to try to get it so that it's relatively straight with a little hole. I'm going to just bring it into me a little bit. I don't know, hopefully you'll still see what I'm doing. I'll bring you this way a bit. Now I've still got the protective film on the bottom of it so that I can sort of move it about a little bit. I'm just going to put my head to the side a bit let me move it so that it's sideways actually. So it's easy to get it centred when it's upside down, but obviously it won't stick that way. Ah, don't stick, don't stick. Ah, it's stuck. I guess it's going here. Oh dear. Right, let's just take that off and we'll turn it over and see how bad it is. Yeah, it's not very centred at all, but it'll do. Right, so you could now cut round it, but again, I'm not very good at that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take a nail file, which I've got somewhere. Here we go. I'm just going to take this nail file and I'm just going to brush down the ends like this, and that takes off any excess. Make sure that it's stuck down properly. And the reason I wanted to do this before the glitter was so that I don't scrape off any of the glitter when I'm doing this bit. Yeah, it's not very well centred at all. That's what happens when you're on video. So I'm just going to go around this. And then at the edges you should be able to peel off any bits. I'm not too worried about the edge because I am going to go around that at the end, so it doesn't matter if you can still see little bits. There we go. And it's much better than trying to cut round it. Gives it a much nicer finish, in my opinion. Now I'm going to poke the little hole. Again, I'm just going to take something sharp. I've got this. You can use a needle, you can use an X-Acto knife, whatever you've got. And I'm just going to very carefully poke the hole that way because I don't want to lift the sticker up. It's just enough so that I can see where it is and then go through from the front like that. So yes, it is a little bit squint, but that's okay. That's okay. Right, so that's the sticker on. We are going to do more with that in a minute, but let's go back to the back now. Give my workspace a bit of a clean down. I'm going to dry it as well because I don't want the sticker to get soggy. Right, so now I need to take the protective covering off this side. Just exactly the same. And yes, I did have black glitter in mind, but I think it might be quite nice to do a sort of blue, a light sort of blue, a light sort of yellow, and then a sort of pinky purple, the same as it is in the sticker. What do you think? Will we do that? Yeah, let's do that. What I would always advise as well is if you're going to be doing it straight onto like clear acrylic, I would maybe paint it in some way. And I think I am still going to paint it in black, just because if there are any gaps in the glitter, it's not going to look quite as bad. You could do it in any colour you want. I'm going to go for black because I've got my black acrylic paint marker here. Right, so I'll just speed this bit up for you. I am literally, it doesn't matter what it looks like, you can use normal acrylic pen. I'm just literally going to paint this black. You're not going to see it anyway. It's just to have a, and it prepares the surface better as well. Right, I will just let that dry now and I will go and get my glitter. I did just go around the outside of it with the black acrylic pen as well. Yeah, so it is time to do the glitter. I've got this, it was actually an Easter glitter set, I've not opened it yet, from The Range. It's a good bargain shop for crafts in Britain. And I'm going to use the blue, the yellow, the pink, and there's not a decent purple, so I looked out this one. So I am just going to use Mod Podge, and just normal, but I would imagine you can use any glue at all that you want. And I might just do it, I might paint it on one stripe at a time. What did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm just going to do a layer of this, and it is important to let your paint dry or else the Mod Podge will just smudge all the paint. There we go. I'll take some of the blue, and of course I've got it on a bit of paper so that I don't waste my glitter. Any glitter that doesn't stick gets put back in the tub. Right. There we go. Make sure that it goes, and I'm not worried about straight lines and things. I don't want it to be perfect. There we are, and I will be doing this in a few layers. I've already folded my paper in half so I can pop the glitter back in there. Then I will paint the next layer of glue. I'm not worried about it going into the hole that the keychain bit's going to go through, because I can fix that, so that isn't a worry. And I will get a little bit of glitter on my paintbrush here, but that's okay. I don't dip my brush directly into the Mod Podge. I give it a shake first and then I use whatever glue's going into the lid, so I won't be transferring any glitter back directly into the tub. Right, so yellow. Give it a shake. I did give my brush just a little wipe anyway to get any glitter off. Now I'm going to do this one for the pink. And I don't mind that I'm seeing some of the black through it, mainly because I'm going to be doing another couple of layers anyway, but also because it gives it the same sort of look as the front. And finally, my last layer. So there is our first layer of glitter done. Now I'm going to leave that for at least half an hour, maybe an hour, before I add my next layer on, just to let it all dry and things. So I'm going to put that to the side just now. I'm going to wipe my brush, put this lid back on, and give my work surface a clean because it's covered in glitter. Right, now we can start on the hexagon one. Now for this one we are going to be using resin. Now when you're working with acrylic blanks, it's important not to put UV or epoxy resin straight onto the acrylic, and I'm about to show you why. So we'll take the cover off. Like that. I am just going to put a small amount of UV resin on here. I'm not going to cover it all because it's just to show you what happens. Now if you do resin, you will know that quite often acetate is used as a barrier if you're like wanting to separate colours and things like that. And the reason is acrylic, acetate, that sort of thing comes off resin quite easy. So let's have a look at what happens if we just put this under the UV lamp and let it cure. Right, so here I have the cured UV resin, and I'm just going to take a sharp tool. Not that anybody would be doing this with key rings, but if you're going to be selling them, or if you're going to be using it for yourself for any length of time, you want to be sure that it's going to last. And as you will see, watch this, it will make me out to be a liar. Look. Look how cleanly that comes off. So any work that you had done there could just peel right off. So you don't want to put resin directly on acrylic. Now, I have got a little experiment prepared somewhere, if I can find it, just to see what surfaces it will stick on. Now, a lot of people sand it. They use like a sander or just some sandpaper, a nail file to file the acrylic to make it rough and give the resin something to stick to. I've tried that and it still comes off. So I have tried this side here is just acrylic paint and then the UV resin. Let's see what happens. Nope, that seems to be secure enough. I'm really digging in there and can't get it off. You can see up here a bit, maybe a wee edge. Nope. So that seems to work. On this side it is glitter vinyl. So let's see what happens with this. So I didn't paint anything on, I literally stuck some glitter self-adhesive vinyl on and then covered it in UV resin. And that is stuck. So we now know if you paint it first with acrylic paint or you put some vinyl on it, the UV resin will stick nicely to that. What I like to do with this one in particular, because I'm going to be putting a diamond painting sticker snowflake on it, I am going to put some Mod Podge on the back, but I am going to use the Extreme Glitter Mod Podge because that really gives it a nice shine on the front side, the side that we're going to see. So I'm just going to paint some of this on, making sure it's the side that has got the, so this side has still got the plastic on it, so I want to paint it on this side. I'll do that just now and then we can let that dry. This is lovely stuff. I love Mod Podge anyway, it's so versatile, but the Mod Podge with the glitter is brilliant and I use it for sealing diamond paintings because it seals it nicely, but it does give it a nice shimmer as well. And again, we don't need to be too neat with it because we are going to be putting some resin over the top of it. Because I know for a fact that this works well. Because the Mod Podge is a good sealer and the bits of glitter in it, this does have a rougher finish to it than normal Mod Podge, and that gives it a really good surface for the UV resin to stick to, and that's all we need. We don't need a lot, so I'll leave that to dry. That will dry clear and then I'll turn it over and let you see what it looks like. And this has dried now. So this side is the side I put the actual glitter Mod Podge on, and it does feel rough, which is good because it means that you can then put your resin on top of it. This side hasn't, but you can see, wait, if I take the, we need to remember we've still got the clear film on there. So if we take that off, you can see that you have got a nice little glisten of glitter through there, but this is smooth. So this I wouldn't put resin directly onto because the resin would just come right off again. So what am I going to do? I want, in fact I shouldn't have taken the cover off that yet because I want to do something similar with the back but I don't want to manually, in fact, I don't want to manually put glitter on with glue and things. I'm going to do it with UV resin. So I have actually got this little tub that I had started doing it in on another one. So I'm just going to use this. It's been sitting in the dark, so the UV resin hasn't cured. There wasn't a lot left anyway. So I'm just going to add some resin in here. I'm going to use the Let's Resin UV Resin Clear Hard Type. We don't need a lot because it's not a big shape, and with UV resin you are better to do it in a couple of smaller layers anyway rather than one big thick layer because you want to make sure that it cures properly. So I will take a little silicone tool. I'm going to mix in the glitter that's already there and then I'm going to add some more. And I thought this one is going to be, I don't think I've even told you what I'm doing with this yet. So I am going to be using a little diamond painting snowflake on this one. So that's going to sit on the front. So I want it to look a bit like a sort of starry sky behind it. So yeah, that is what I am going to do with that. So this is still the back that I'm working on. Yep, it's the rough side. So I thought a nice sort of blue glitter behind it would be nice. I don't know if I'll need, no, I won't need to paint it first because I'll put enough glitter on. Because obviously whatever you do on the back, you're going to see on the front. And I am going to find one of my little mirrors to sit it on, and that way it sort of cures it from the other side as well. Here we go. These are little mirror tiles I got from Temu ages ago, and they're like plastic, they're cardboard with a mirror on it. It's not glass, but if you do that, then the UV rays shine from the top and then reflect up and cure both sides at the same time if you've got something like this that's completely see-through. So let's just pop some of this on. Like I said, I'm going to do this in a couple of layers, so I want it to be quite thin. We want to make sure that the resin cures completely. I should have gloves on for this part because it's resin. I always do with epoxy resin, but I'm a bit lax when it comes to UV resin, and I shouldn't be, so please wear gloves. Do as I say, not as I do. Now at this point I'm more interested in getting a cured layer of resin than worrying too much about where the glitter is. And I'm just being careful going round the little hole where the hardware goes through. It's not a big deal if it does get a bit blocked, but it's easier to try to stop it at the time. I'm not too worried about bubbles because it's so glittery you wouldn't see them anyway, but I will go over it with my long neck lighter just to be on the safe side, just to get rid of any excess ones. Right. I can see quite a lot of little bubbles there. I'm going to let this sit for a couple of minutes to let it properly self-level, and then I'll get my head right down to make sure I've got it right to the edges, and then I'll cure it, and then I'm going to do another layer. I won't do that on camera because you don't need to watch me doing that again, but that's basically what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cure in layers until I'm happy with the amount of resin and glitter that I've got on there. So I'll see you in a wee while. I've got my cat sticker keychain drying with the glitter. I've got my UV resin curing. So my third one, I am actually going to use a design from the Cricut. I'm not going to use resin on this one. I'm going to use a double acrylic clear lacquer spray to seal it instead of resin, and I just thought I would do it a different way to let you see. So I've already cut my design because I didn't want to waste time on the video doing that. I do have Cricut videos, I believe, on my channel, but if anybody wants a specific tutorial on how to cut with the Cricut, let me know and I can do that. But what I'm going to do first is, for the back of this one, I'm going to put on some of the glitter vinyl that I used on the other one that you saw earlier in the video, and it is this. It's actually from GM Crafts. It is self-adhesive crafty vinyl. It's for the Cricut Joy. It's smart vinyl, so you don't need a mat, but I'm not going to cut the circle out because I'm just going to do what I did with the sticker. I find that if I'm trying to cut circles with the Cricut, it's great, it works really well, you get it the exact size, but the issue then is trying to place it exactly in place. Whereas if I do the same as I did with the sticker earlier, I don't need to worry about it. So I'm just going to cut this bit here. With any self-adhesive vinyl, you don't need a Cricut or any kind of vinyl cutter. You can use scissors. So don't think that if you've not got a Cricut you can't use vinyl, because that's not the case at all. So, is this going to be too big? I'm going to cut this down to size a little bit so that I'm not wasting too much vinyl. Even the tiniest bits can be used, so I never chuck away any vinyl. You just never know when you can use tiny wee bits. So I'll put this aside for something else. So this is the back side that I'm doing just now, but I am going to be using exactly the same vinyl as my base for the other side. This is the side that I've just taken the film off. What I'll do this time, one thing with the Cricut Joy Smart Vinyl is it is very difficult to transfer. I am going to use some greaseproof paper, and that way I can put it wherever I want until I'm ready to put it down. I might need to do this slightly off camera, sorry about that. Trying to make sure that it's definitely going to be covering everywhere. There we go. So I've popped the top bit down, and then you just lift this bit up, take out the greaseproof paper and smooth it down. There we go, and then I'm going to do the trick with the nail file again. There we go. Like I said, you can cut the circle out either by hand or with a cutting machine, but I honestly prefer doing it that way. I just think it works out neater. So that's all I'm going to do with the back. I will be spraying it at the end to seal it. So I'm now going to go on to this side. I'm going to make sure that I poke my hole just now so that I know where it is. So I just basically poke my tool through that way very briefly, because I don't want to peel all the vinyl up, and then I push it back through like that, right the way through, and make sure that it's all stuck like that, nice and neat. I'm now going to take this film off. Now here's something worth pointing out. If you're putting vinyl on the back and you're not putting it on the front, you need to be careful what vinyl you use, because obviously this is just silver, which might be the look that you're going for, but if you were hoping to get the gold glitter through there, that's not going to happen with this vinyl. So you would need to use a vinyl that's the same colour on both sides if you want to put your vinyl on the back to have the right colour shining through. But it's okay because I'm putting this vinyl back on. This keychain is going to be for a friend of mine who hasn't been too well recently and absolutely loves everything Minnie Mouse. Have you guessed who you are, Serena? So I do make quite a lot of things for her. She very kindly gives me a lot of orders. She very kindly gives me a lot of orders, and I thought I would make this so the next time I'm sending anything down to her, I can just send this to her at the same time. And this design I got from Cricut Design Space. It was a design that was already made by a creator on Cricut Design Space. I've just changed it very slightly, which I will show you soon. So I'm going to do the same again here. I will speed this bit up for you. I've got quite a bit of rough vinyl there. I'm just going to take a baby wipe and very gently rub it off. I will be finishing off the edge with a gold pen anyway, so it's not that big a deal. I just would like to get as much off as I can, mostly so that it's not rough. And of course I want to make sure that I've got my hole back. So again, just poke it through slightly so you know where it is. Then go in the other way and make sure it's a proper hole. Now, because both sides are the same, you can decide which side you want to be the front and which side you want to be the back. I've actually got a couple of tiny little bubbles in that side, so I'm going to make this the back and I will make this the front. Right, I'm going to clear my workspace and then I'm ready to put my decal on. And in true Blue Peter style, here's my decal I made earlier. So, basically the writing was done in 2 layers, so I've got the back in black and then it's a nice sort of holographic vinyl on the front, and this is a holographic black vinyl with a holographic gold vinyl bow, and in hindsight I could have done this a bit bigger to match the circle. I didn't want to go too big, but I probably could have, but I've not got any more of this black glitter black holographic vinyl left, and I love it, so I wanted to use it, so we're just going to go with it. So I am just going to take the backing off this. I have already layered it up, as you could see. Where is my, here we go. And the good thing about using greaseproof paper is it lets you move your item about, but you can still see through it. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. You can still see through it to see where your decal actually is. Is that going to be relatively central and straight? Wait till I bring it closer to me so I can see. I'm quite happy with that. I'll pop the transfer tape down there at the top, and just the same as I did earlier, take the greaseproof paper away and very carefully press down. Now obviously you need to be careful when you're peeling the transfer tape off. I wouldn't use any that's brand new, fresh. This has been used a few times, so it's not too sticky, because I don't want to take off my background vinyl with it. So we just want to very carefully start peeling it away. Like that. There we go. So there is our Minnie Mouse, and we then have the name. So again, I'm just going to take this off. It's already layered. I'm going to bring it quite close to me so I can see what I'm doing. Is this straight? So what you can do before you commit to your actual vinyl going on, you can sort of hold it up and look to see, is it going to be straight? I think it's too high at that side, because as long as it's only the transfer tape that is touching your blank, you can take it off and reposition it. Let's try that. How does that look? I think that looks not too bad. Let's take this away and have a look. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. And there we go. I don't know if the camera is picking that up very well, but it looks really cool. It's very colour changing. I love the contrast of the purple. That's not holographic vinyl, it's like an iridescent vinyl. The back two, the black and gold, are holographic. You can see the little circles on them. Yay, I like that. Now, I think it needs a little something, doesn't it? It needs a little bit of bling. I am going to add a bit of bling in the middle of the bow and maybe just round the outside. So I am going to get my diamond painting glue. This is Crystal Art Magic glue. Now you could probably use Mod Podge as well for this, but I like this. It's designed for diamond painting, and basically you paint it on the areas that you want it to cover, and then once it dries clear, you're ready to stick things on. You don't stick it on while it's still wet. It's sticky when it's dry, but it's just slippery when wet, true Bon Jovi style. Right, I'm just going to pop a wee bit on there. I'm going to use my trusty paintbrush. I'm going to just paint a very fine line. It doesn't matter if I get it where I don't want it, because I will be sealing it all anyway. So the fact that it's going to be sticky doesn't matter. You don't want too much, or it takes ages to dry, but you don't want too little, or else it won't stick. You need to get a fine balance. Right, I will speed this up. Right, now this is dry. You can see it's gone clear, but I can still see where it is sticky. And while I was waiting for that to dry, I just put another layer of glitter on this. And as you can see, I've deliberately let the different colours go slightly over the other colours, if you know what I mean, so it didn't look as defined as straight lines. So just to try and not blend it, but you know what I mean, so it's not as sort of stark edges. So I'm letting that dry while I do this. And what I am going to do now is, if I can find my little diamond painting tool, I am just going to use these little drills. Now they're not from diamond paintings, they're actually slightly smaller. I can't remember what I got them in, it was a kit of some kind. So I'm going to use these, and I'm just going to use different pinks and purples in no particular order. I'm just going to randomly pick up the colours. So I'll put some of these out, and it doesn't bother me that they're going to be mixed because there's not going to be that many left. That was maybe a bit much. And I can use a pink purple mix for anything. I can just put it in a different container. Oh, there's a little green one there, I don't want that. Right, so I have just made a mix. I'm going to shake them all up. And there are some odd colours there that don't belong, but that's okay. I am going to put the purple, the darkest purple ones on the bow. In fact, no, I'm going to put a mix on the bow as well. Like that. And then I'm just going to put these right round the outside, either 1 or 2 deep, I'm not sure yet, and I will speed you up for this bit. You could do a couple of rounds. You could also put your glue around the outside and put them right round the outside, but I think they would fall off very easily. And you could cover the back as well, but to be honest, because it's going to be a functional piece, or I'm going to make it a keyring, you could make it a magnet if you wanted. You don't want to risk the little gems falling off, so it is important that you seal your piece once you've done this. So I am going to now do my first layer of sealant, because using this you have to leave 15 minutes in between coats. Right, I'll just get a bit of the silicone mat to sit on it, and this I would always advise you to do outside because it's very smelly and you do want to make sure you're well ventilated. But just to show you this first layer, I'm going to do it here because I've not got a camera set up for outside. And when I say outside, I go into the utility room with the door open because it's too awkward for me to get right out the back of the chair. Anyway, you're going to give this a really good shake. Now you can use any, as far as I know, clear lacquer spray. I had seen somebody on YouTube using this, I can't remember who it was, and it looked really good. So I think I got it from Amazon. If anybody's interested, I can get you the link. Now it basically just says to hold sort of 10 centimetres away. I have got my window right open, and give it a light layer. Oh, it has gone a bit cloudy just now, but it does dry clear. So I'm going to put this beside the window. Right, let's go back to this, our little diamond painting keyring. And I am going to turn it over, and look, it's all nice and sparkly. So what I want to do now is I want to have more sparkle, and I want to have a coating for the UV resin that I'm going to put on top to stick. So I'm just going to use my glitter Mod Podge again. I'm going to give this a quick layer and then let it dry. In fact, before I let it dry, what I'm going to do is stick on my sticker and a couple of other little sparkly bits that I want to put on. So I'm just going to take off this. Now the only thing with this is it is white round about it, but that's okay. Right, I'm just going to bring this towards me a bit so I can see where I am putting it. You can move it about a little bit while the glue is still wet. So this could actually be used as a Christmas decoration rather than a keyring if you wanted. Now I've got some little bits. This is just some little sequins bits that I had actually put on. One that I made earlier, this one. So they were left over, so I just left them on the bit of paper so I could use them for. And I'm just going to take my little diamond painting tool again and just randomly place them wherever they go. Because the glue is still wet again. Oops. In fact, it'd probably be better using tweezers. Because the glue is still wet, it should stick. These were excess from the other ones, so some of them are stuck together because they were on glue. But that's fine. So it just looks like little moons and stars. Oops. I think the glue's drying already. Yeah, it is. So I'm not going to worry too much about this. I'll put them down where I think they'll stick. But then I'll put the rest on top of a layer of UV resin, and that should give it a little bit of depth as well. No, it's too dry now. That's fine. We've got a few on there, so I'll let it properly dry and then we'll come back in with our layer of UV resin. Now this has been sitting drying for a good half hour, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a big makeup brush and I'm just going to lightly dust any of the loose glitter off. I'm going to do it over the bin. I just thought I would show you what I'm going to do. Right, not much came off that at all, but what I do want to do is seal it so that if you're using it as a keyring, it's not going to drop glitter everywhere. So I am going to just use the same, again you could just use your Mod Podge, but just for speed I'm going to use this. So get another one of these, pop this out the way. Oh, yes, make sure you do this in a well ventilated room. I'll be back when this is ready to go. Good morning. Right, so yesterday I sprayed these with the acrylic sealer and I left it. I didn't get a chance to come back into my craft room, so I'm here this morning and I'm liking how this is looking. It is relatively smooth to the touch. I think I might do another layer of the acrylic off camera, and this is looking really good, but I notice that the vinyl behind the A has lifted slightly, and I don't know if I had just not pressed it down hard enough before spraying the acrylic spray. So I think what I might do is I might do another layer of both, but we shall see. On the back you could seal it if you want, but to be honest I quite like it just with the vinyl. I don't, it might come off, mind you. Right, what I'm going to do with this one is I am going to take just a gold metallic pen, and I'm going to go around the edge of this keyring with it, just to give it a much nicer finish. There we go. Now obviously that is optional, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you don't have a pen like this, you could always use paint, You could use glitter if you want. And what I'm now going to do is I'm going to let the paint dry, and then I'm going to do another layer of the acrylic sealer, but I'm going to do it outside, off camera. I'm going to try to get this to stick down. I might actually end up using a little bit of UV vinyl on the front. UV vinyl? Oh my goodness, UV resin on the front, just to make sure that stays down properly. And then I will use the sealer on the edge and on the back, just to stop the vinyl from peeling off on the back. So I'll do that off camera, and then I'll show you that once it's finished. With this one, like I said, I will do another layer of the sealer on the back. I might do another layer of the paint round about the edge, and for here it's fine, but it does need something. So I think I'm going to use the glitter Mod Podge, and that will seal the sticker to the acrylic and just give it a bit of a shimmer. What I am going to do first though is I'm going to paint the edge and let that dry, and then I will do the Mod Podge. So now the only one we have left is our diamond painted snowflake. So that was the back, that's the front. Now remember, we had put a layer of the glitter Mod Podge on it just to make sure that the UV resin has something to stick to. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a layer of UV resin on, and I am going to add some of these little stars and little silver circles that I was doing yesterday before the Mod Podge dried. So let's get on with that just now. I'm just going to put a thin coat on to add my little embellishments, and then I will cure it, and then I'll put a final top coat on, because I want to put a top coat on top of any of the little stars and things that I add, so it's nice and smooth and domed. I'm trying not to go over the little diamantes because they lose their sparkle when you do that, but I'm thinking that if I get in amongst them with the UV resin, it seals them on, so they're not going to come off. But oh, see, that wasn't properly stuck on there. So they won't come off, but they won't lose their sparkle. That is the theory. So I will speed this up for you so you can see what I'm doing. Feel free to fast forward it if you're happy enough with what I'm doing. You don't need to see it. I painted another layer of just the black acrylic pen around the edge, and I am now just going to put a layer of the glitter Mod Podge on the sticker. Like I said, just to seal it, because it won't be waterproof just now, and yeah, it could easily get scratched or, you know, start to peel off or whatever. So I'm just going to go in with my paintbrush, and I will make sure that I go around the edge as well. Right, it's now a couple of days later. Everything has been sealed and little finishing touches done. I might have went a wee bit OTT on the Minnie Mouse one, but I'll show you that in a wee while. You know what I'm like, I just don't know when to stop. So I am going to show you how to put the hardware just on one of them, just to give you an idea. Now this hole is actually a little bit blocked, so I'm going to have to use my pokey tool. Hopefully this will do it, if not I might need to drill it. I should have checked. Oh no, it's fine. There we go. Right, so this has now had the Mod Podge on it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I did, when I was doing the extra layer of the sealant on the glitter, it's very smooth now. There's no glitter going to come off that. I did have it lying on one of these, and you can, I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but I can see the hexagon pattern on there. Which gives it an added dimension, I suppose. It wasn't intended, but it is quite smart. So anyway, let's have a look at what we're going to do now. We're going to simply take a jump ring. If you know how to do this and don't want to watch this bit, you can skip forward a wee bit to the final reveal of them all. But just for anyone who hasn't done it before, I'm going to show you. Now these jump rings are already open, so I'm going to pop it through like that. I'm going to take one of my keyring attachments, or keychain attachments I should say. I suppose it is a chain, but that's the ring. That's the ring that the key goes on. Anyway. So we're simply going to pop the end of the chain link on our jump ring. Going to take our little tools, anything at all that you've got. If you've got proper tools, then it helps, but it really doesn't matter. You just want to squeeze. Oh, you don't want to drop it. Now you're not squeezing towards itself, you're twisting it back like that, and I usually take it just a little bit further back than it has to, and then bring it together again, and that has put that bit on. And then I am going to put probably a black fringe on, I think, to go with our cat. I'm going to take another jump ring, going to pop the ring through there, and it's up to you where you put this. Some people put it on the actual keychain, the actual ring bit. I prefer to put it in the top chain, but it's entirely up to you. You don't even need to put it on if you don't want, or you can put other charms on. There's lots of ways you can fancy up a key ring, and then just twist it so that it's closed. And there you have your finished keyring. So that is our cat one. This, we didn't use any resin on this at all. We didn't use a Cricut or anything. It was just Mod Podge, a sticker, some glitter, and then I used that spray sealer, and that was it. So nothing special required for that. And I have got our diamond painted snowflake on there. It doesn't really look like a snowflake now, but I think it's still cool. It's got a kind of space vibe to it. So that is the front. It's all nice and smooth. The diamond painting drills are still sticking up because I didn't want to cover them. They've still got a bit of sparkle to them. And on the back we have got our UV resin and glitter. It's all nice and smooth, and it's got quite a bit of dimension to it. I quite like that. And I put just a sort of silvery grey tassel on that one. I made another one like this off camera. I showed you it briefly at the beginning of this video, and that was this one. Now I don't know if you can see, there's some sparkle round about that. That was some nail foil that I added to it. I did mean to do it on this one and completely forgot, but I've not finished this one with UV resin, so it's not got quite as much dimension as that has. And this one was painted on the back. I painted it blue before I added this one's got UV resin and glitter on the back. So it just shows you the different look that you can get depending on what way you want to do it. And the last one is our Minnie Mouse keyring. Now, I had just got a Temu order in, and I did my haul, and I went, ooh, because I got these little Minnie Mouse or Mickey Mouse head shapes. and they're just cardboard, and I thought, oh, how perfect would that be on the back of that keyring. So let me show you what I did. It looks a bit odd just now because the spray sealer is still drying, so it looks a wee bit weird. I'm hoping that it's going to dry smoother than that. If not, I might need to go over it with some UV resin. But anyway, I put one of those Mickey shapes on the back. I just stuck it down. It was a black one. Then I used my diamond paint and glue again all over the Mickey head. And then I just took the same colours of little drills and put them all over it, and it just made it really nice. So I will, once this is properly dry, I will put the hardware on it and I will show you it properly in our final photo. I will try to show you the front. There it is. Nothing really different about it. I did end up putting a layer of UV resin over it, and yes, I'll show you it once it's all done. I will show you some glamour shots of them. I know this has been a long video and I apologise for that. Please feel free, when you're watching my videos, if they're quite long, put them on like 1.25 or 1.5 speed. I do that with a lot of videos because I can still see what's going on, and I can slow down the bits that I really need to like get instruction on, if you know what I mean. I don't mind if you do that. I would rather you did that than completely skip bits of the video. But I know it is a longer one. It's because I didn't want to just show you one keyring. I wanted to show you 3 different ways that you can do it, depending on the tools that you've got, the equipment, that sort of thing. You don't need to go out and spend a fortune. This was a very basic one, but it still looks good. So yeah, I wanted to do that just to give you an idea. And these are relatively basic ones. You can go further with them. I probably will in the future, but I just wanted to keep it relatively simple just now. And yeah, if there's anything more that you would like to see, just let me know. So thank you again to Beebeecraft for gifting me these products. And I will have the link to all of the Beebeecraft products used today in the description of this video, as well as my 10% off discount code for Beebeecraft. So please feel free to go over and check out their website and use my discount code. And before I head off, I almost forgot, I did promise to show you what this bear looks like when it is made up. So are you ready? I absolutely love it. Look, how adorable is this bear? I will put this in the final glamour shot for you as well, just so that you can see it properly. But this bear was actually made with resin with Epsom salts in it. So it didn't use quite as much resin, and I love the effect it gives. It's got quite a sort of cloudy colour to it, and then the very bottom layer is more clear, which I think is really cool. And I just zhuzhed it up a bit with some diamante earrings, a little necklace and a little face. And isn't he really cute? He does hold a mobile phone as well, which I will show you in the final photos, but I did promise I would show you that, and I absolutely love it. I'm definitely going to be making more of these. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this. Hang fire for the glamour shots, and I will see you in our next video. Thanks everyone. Bye.